Hi, if you're new here, my name is Coach Rose Peterson. I'm a certified personal trainer, both in person and online, and a certified nutrition coach. I help moms locally in Las Vegas, Nevada, and all over the world shed the weight holding them back from becoming their most energetic and authentic version of themselves so they can go after their deepest desires alongside of motherhood. You can find me at fitandconfidentmoms.com. Good morning. This is Coach Rose for another edition of Tuesday Talks. And today I want to address some really important things. And it is the fact that there's a lot of you out there, especially women over 35, that don't know how to set your weight loss goal. You're not even sure what's realistic. You might be wondering, is my metabolism stuck? What is the best diet? Is it stuck? Is it slow? What is even reasonable? And if those are the questions you're asking, I want you to stick around because today I'm going to demystify how your metabolism works. And if you think it's stuck, I'm going to share with you how we unstick it, okay? Because your metabolism is pretty awesome. So if you want to know how your metabolism works, what's a reasonable rate of weight loss? We're going to dive right in. So let me introduce myself really quick. My name is Coach Rose Peterson. I am the founder of Fit and Confident Academy, and I help clients lose the weight, holding them back from leveling up in life, love, and business. Actually, I had to think about that last one. Basically, going after the things that you love to do. Okay, so if you're watching live, type live. If you're watching the replay, type replay. This helps me so much and lets other people know that there's something cool to watch. And I come back here and say hello and say thank you and kind of figure out why you're here and maybe send you something that might help your goals. All right, let me change some things on the screen here. And also, I would love to know, what is the goal that you're working on and what's the biggest challenge? Because if you could put that in the comments, I'll try to answer your question live. What is the goal that you're working on and what is your biggest challenge? The other thing is, if you've been watching me for a while, would love to know and put hashtag pro. If you're new and you just stumbled across this, put hashtag new and I will say hello and thanks for watching. Okay, so I get why it's confusing. I get why weight loss can feel elusive, feel confusing, and there's a lot of mixed messages out there, right? Diet culture, which means start a diet, lose weight fast, if you do X, Y, and Z, has really skewed our perspective of what's realistic. Because we grew up, well, I did, and we still see this, with Women's Day magazine at the grocery store that says lose 20 pounds in 21 days, right? Or something crazy, stupid like that. But that's what we believed, and still to this day, that weight loss should happen quickly. And if you're not losing weight quickly, then you're probably not doing it right, which is far from the truth. And in actuality, I've seen people, when they lose weight too quickly, they end up gaining it back very quickly, because usually whatever they're doing to lose weight very fast is just not sustainable. And so today I want to help you pick a goal, because there have been people that I've talked to that are really afraid to say out loud what their goal is, because they don't even know what's possible. And they may have lost a lot of weight in the past, but they don't want to do that thing again. It's not worth it to them to get that weight loss. But what if I told you there's a different way? There's a more enjoyable way, and one that doesn't feel like you have to give up everything in order to lose weight. And as a matter of fact, my clients and I believe, and this is what I teach my clients, that you must eat the food you love every single day in order to have lasting weight loss success. So what I mean is, depriving yourself or choosing to eat a diet that doesn't really align with you, that you don't see eating that way for the rest of your life. Those are diets that you don't even want to stick with. And so if you're on here and this can resonate with you, that you're like, I have lost and gained the last several years of my life, which is the clients that I work with. And I do want to get healthier. I do want to lose belly fat. I do want to look hot in my clothes, but I don't want to go on another 1200 calorie diet. I don't want to do HCG. I don't want to miss out on brunch with the girlfriends. I don't want to make separate food from my kids. Then you're in the right place, because I'm going to tell you the science. And the science, I don't want you to feel overwhelmed by it. I want you to feel empowered, because when I learned the science behind weight loss, it literally set me free. It set me free from feeling controlled and trapped by food and feeling guilty because I wasn't eating the right thing or the wrong thing. And then that would throw me off track, and I would go spiral down to eating badly until I was ready to get back on track again. But it doesn't have to be that way. All right. So get your pen and paper out. We're going to break it down. We're going to break it down. Okay. So especially if you're thinking about weight loss, you have a future weight loss goal, this is going to be valuable information for you. Okay, so first, let's talk about metabolism and how it doesn't get stuck or doesn't get broken. And the thing is I want you to come from a place of love and understand that your body is made beautifully, and it does everything it can to support you and the things that you do. Okay, and so the cool thing is we can do external things, meaning what we do with our exercise, what we do with our nutrition, to influence how our hormones react, how our metabolism works. So that's first thing I want you to know, is that your metabolism is smart. It's meant to be dynamic. If you're doing this, it's going to do this. And I'm going to tell you the external things that we can do to help put our metabolism in our favor. Okay. So the first thing we should know is your metabolism. You might hear these words thrown around, and I'm just going to explain them to you so it doesn't sound confusing. I'm not throwing this jargon out here to be like, oh, look how smart I am. I actually just want to arm you by, when people throw this stuff around, I don't want you to feel like that's confusing. I don't know what you're talking about. This is exactly why I don't dig into the science. Just give me a food list and I'll be on my way. No, I don't want you to live like that. I want you to be able to make mindful food choices that are in alignment with your goal and feel absolutely empowered that you can eat this way the rest of your life. You're supporting your body and you're working towards your goal. Okay. So your basal metabolic rate, this is short, you might see it as BMR. This is the number of calories your body needs to accomplish its most basic life sustaining function. So if you were laying in bed all like not moving, not even like getting emotional. Okay, so it's like basic life sustaining, because we know that if we're thinking about something stressful, our heart rate goes up, our metabolism changes, right? So this is just sleeping, doing nothing. Okay, this is the minimum amount of calories we need to lay in bed and stay there alive. Okay, your BMR is the allows you to keep your basic functions going. And you can go online and fill out a calculator and go, what is my BMR? And you can put in your height, your weight, and be like, BMR calculator. That is going to be the minimum calories you need in a day. But when I work with my clients, I would like them to know this number, because I don't want them eating less than that number, because this is where we see things like our hormones get very unhappy. We might have some thyroid issues because again, if we're eating less than that BMR, your body is so smart. It's going to try to slow down other things so it can keep you alive. So it could slow down thyroid function. You might lose your period if you're eating that way long term. So we should know that number. We should know what our BMR is so that we don't eat less than that. Okay. Now, RMR, resting metabolic rate. This is different. And a lot of times I hear it interchangeably, but that that RMR is a little bit different. This is like slightly more than your BMR, right? So if you're still sitting on the couch watching TV and you're watching a drama and you're like, oh my God, that freaking chick, she did it again. Your heart rate's elevating. You're having some chemistry changes. So this is still not doing a lot of effort, but there are other things happening. You're more awake, you're making decisions, you're thinking. So you're burning a little bit more calories, okay, at a resting metabolic rate. You're not doing much, but you're doing other things. You're having emotions. You have stress response. Okay. Now, TDEE, your total daily expenditure. This is all the calories you're burning in a day. This is your exercise. This is you walking, getting up, going to the car, driving, doing chores, going to work. This is everything. This includes your resting metabolic rate. This includes what you're burning as you're moving. And the TDEE is what we need to know so that when we decide to go into a weight loss mode, we could figure out, okay, so let's say, for example, I go to a TDE calculator online. There's so many of them. You do like TDEE. Now, remember, these calculators are just estimates, so it's a good starting point. When I work with my clients one-on-one, I get to know their bodies. I get to know, what their real TDE is. And we change their plan based on life situations, right? Because some weeks you might be on vacation, not working out as much. Other weeks you could be doing an intense program. So I just want to back it up. Yes, I'm a fitness coach and nutrition coach, but let's say I think like 70% of my clients, they see me for remote programming and nutrition coaching. And I have about 30, maybe 40% now that are just nutrition only. And sometimes their goals change. So 1 week they may be, not 1 week, 1 year, they might be going after a specific goal. Or like, for example, one of my clients just told me last week that he wants to train for a triathlon. So knowing that his workouts are going to be changing, his nutrition strategy will need to change as well. So anyway, the reason I'm explaining this to you is the TDE calculators that you look up online, they're based on formulas. Most of those formulas are based on men. Okay. So it's still good to know this number because it's a starting point of like, all right, the TDE calculator, put in my information in there. It tells me that I'm burning 3,000 calories a day. Okay. Now, if I want to figure out how to lose weight, we know that if you burn 3,500 calories in a week, you lose a pound. So divide 3,500 calories over 7 days, and then you'll minus that from your TDE rate. I'm not doing the math correctly, but what is that? What is 3? I need to do math. So that's like 600 calorie deficit, right? Am I doing that correctly? Anyway, or about like 500 calories. So what you'll do is you'll want to take, let's say 3,000 is your total daily expenditure. We minus it by 500 or 600 because it's good for you to be your own scientist. And that means that you'll need to eat, 2,500 calories in a day to be in your deficit. Okay. So that's just an example. So once you have your TDE, then that is something for you to know about, like, how many calories do I have to eat less of or burn through exercise and movement to be able to put myself at a rate that, let's say I want to lose a pound a week or a half a pound a week or 2 pounds a week. That's how you figure that out. Now, all diets work the same way. Okay. So keto puts you in a calorie deficit because you're still eating less than what your body burns. You're just doing it by taking out a whole food group, multiple food groups out of your diet. So if you only are eating meat and butter all day long, you're probably going to struggle to eat a lot of it. Okay. So then you put yourself in a calorie deficit. Your body is then forced to tap into stored fat for fuel. But wouldn't it be awesome if you could just eat what you wanted, which you can, put yourself in a calorie deficit and still lose weight? And this is exactly what I teach my clients. And then we go deeper inside Fit and Confident Academy. And I'm actually teaching a workshop on this for free. So if you want to dive deeper and know like the very specifics, drop hashtag workshop. I'll send you a invite. So anyway, that is how weight loss works. So intermittent fasting, right? It is closing the window of how much time you can eat. So if you're only going to eat 6 hours or 8 hours in the day, it's really hard to overeat in that time period. So you were using a tool a time tool as a strategy, and you're eating less calories. So all these diets like Weight Watchers, Jenny Craig, Optavia, there's no secret to it. What they're doing is, or not magic. I'm sorry. They're not, it's not this abracadabra magic, like you have to be on Optavia, you have to be on Weight Watchers, this is the only way. It's just a method to put you in a calorie deficit. And how much better would life be if you can actually just create your own calorie deficit and eat the food you love? That's what I did when I lost 30 pounds. When I finally discovered this secret, I literally felt like I was had like I've been lied to by the diet industry. Like, oh my gosh, like I thought when I was doing Atkins and cutting out all this bread from my life, and anything that tastes good, right? Fruit, all the magical things. I was like, I just thought that that's what I had to do to lose weight. Like that equaled that. But I did not understand the science of it. Okay. And that's why I'm here. And that's the mission that I'm on, so that all women have the information to empower themselves, to not feel trapped by diets, to also feel that you have food freedom, so we can get rid of that guilt and shame cycle that many of us get stuck in. Okay. So when you eat less than your body burns, your body is so beautifully smart that it is going to tap into stored fat for fuel to create balance, because your body wants energy balance. So this is called the law of thermodynamics. Okay. So hopefully, we're most of the things that your body's going to tap into is stored fat. And what I guess I should have said before is stored tissue. It's going to use stored tissue. But the balance of your foods, the right amount of proteins, the right amount of carbs, the right amount of fats, are going to protect your muscle and that tissue, because we want the body to go for the stored fat. We don't want it to go after the stored muscle, which is why I also have my clients do a specific strength training protocol and a macro balance. Again, if you want to teach yourself this, you want to learn more about what that is so you don't lose muscle, right? Have you ever seen somebody who lost a lot of weight, and maybe you're that person and you felt like, man, I it took me a long time to actually see a difference. And maybe I look like a plum, and then now I just look like a smaller plum. And that's just because if you're not doing the proper exercise, you're losing a lot of muscle tissue and you're just becoming a smaller version of yourself. But if we add in strength training, we add in adequate protein, we're going to protect that muscle tissue, so that when we're peeling off our outer layers, we can see that muscle. And now we create this toned, lean shape when we have a right strength training protocol, when we have proper protein. So if you're interested in that, I'm actually like giving away all the information. Like I said, I'm not guarding secrets, but these are kind of like things that trainers know, that they're safe, like guard keeping. What's that word that people use? I'm teaching all about this in my free workshop. So if you want to spend more time with me and get a deeper dive with this, and you want to create this own formula live where you can ask me anything, hashtag workshop, I'll get that information to you absolutely free. There is a replay if you cannot come to the time that I have arranged. All right. So some of you might be wondering, all right, I have weight to lose. What is realistic? What is a realistic rate of weight loss? And what is a realistic rate of muscle gain? Because that is a good question, because some people are afraid to lift weights because they're like, well, I'm trying to lose weight. I'm not trying to gain muscle, even though, like, I know, Rose, you're saying muscle is awesome. It boosts your metabolism, but I really, really, really want to lose fat. Here's the thing. Muscle is actually really hard. Like, it's a slow process. And sometimes people, when they're on a weight loss journey and they see that scale weight up, they're like, oh, it's okay because I know that I'm gaining muscle. But the truth of the matter is that muscle for women, if you're a beginner, which if you're a beginner, you're a perfect spot to gain muscle, or you've been away from training for a long time, you could expect to gain maybe a pound a month, maybe. And that is with a good strength training program, being very consistent with your training and very consistent with your food. 1 pound, okay? And some people think that, if they see the scale going up every week, but they're eating healthy and they're oh, sorry, I said that in air quotes. I'm not trying to like offend anybody, but it could be that it's not muscle, that you may inadvertently be eating a little more than you think, especially if you're doing, let's say you're doing high intensity exercise, you're doing a boot camp, Orange Theory, um, those turn and burn places where you go there, you get your butt kicked and you leave. A lot of time those are causing you to be hungrier than you realize, and you accidentally overeat your calories after that. That's why I truly believe that if you're working on weight loss, we really want you to have a smart strength training program that is not having you elevate your heart rate super high for long periods of time, because that signals to the brain to hold on to stored fat the next time you eat it. Okay. So we want to keep our heart rate in that zone 1, zone 2 area most of the time. Okay. So realistic rates of body fat, we talked about muscle gain, is okay. So comfortable is about 0.5% of your body weight per week. Reasonable is 0.5 to 1% of your body weight per week. And extreme weight loss is anything over 1.5% of your body weight per week. But you're like, wait a minute, Rose, like all these diets they're telling me I should expect to lose in the extreme category, which is why I think people get really they feel defeated. They feel defeated when the scale, like maybe you start a diet and you lose 10 pounds really quickly, and then after about a month you don't see any changes. And some of that initial weight loss is usually water weight, because you're eating healthier, you're eating less processed carbs probably, and your body releases a lot of water. And then there's some fat loss in there too. But realistically, your body should feel comfortable around or medium-ish, about 1% of body weight per week. So if you're 200 pounds, that's about 2 pounds a week, is about average. And the reason I want to say average is because, 1 week you might lose 0 and the next week you might lose 3, or you could lose 2 every week on the dot, like a predictable calculator. So on average, if you're 200 pounds, you're losing 1% of your body weight per week. That's about 2 pounds a week. So a good goal for that person would be 8 pounds a month. If they really want to stretch themselves a tad, it could be 10 pounds, because they're going to add in extra walking every day to kind of speed up the process. This is what I do to help my clients try to maximize their time, maximize fat loss without stressing out the body. Because again, when we stress out the body with hard workouts, butt kicking workouts, or an extreme deficit, we start to see things like thyroid dysfunction, losing periods, and then binging, because you're so sick and tired of eating such a low calorie diet, or 20 foods you're allowed to eat that the gym gave you, like some silly boot camp gave you. So anyway, that's why I want to empower all the people that come across my platform, especially women over 35, because I want to empower you with the correct information. All right. So are you wondering, well, what about when you've been doing this thing for a while? Is my metabolism stuck? I don't see anything happening. Here's the truth. Weight loss should be done in phases. Weight loss should be done in phases. We shouldn't be in a calorie deficit all the time, because remember, your body is smart. So if you are, let's say you're burning this many calories and you're only giving it this much, right? Because we want it to tap into stored fat for fuel. Slowly over time, your body will slow down its bodily processes to match what you're giving it. Everybody's different. It could take longer than others. And that's why people feel stuck. And what's happening is that maybe you felt like full of energy, but now all of a sudden you're asking your kid to grab the phone from you because you don't want to get up from the couch. It's sneaky little things that you don't even realize that your body slowed down its processes because it wants to find equilibrium with as little stress as possible. So when I start to see signs like that, that's usually a great time to eat at maintenance. Now, every client is different. I have some clients that could go in a deficit for a year and still feel okay. And others might need a break at 3 months, maybe 6 months. So when I work one-on-one with my clients, this is kind of how we make these decisions. But imagine that, your metabolism is like a fire, and the longer you diet, the fire is going to get smaller and smaller, but it doesn't stop burning. It's doing its job. Okay. Your metabolism is still there. So when we take a maintenance break, which means, let's say your new body weight, let's say you were at 200, you lost 50 pounds, you're at 150. Now we're going to calculate how many calories to eat to maintain that 150. Okay. And then you're going to eat that food, which is usually going to be a little bit more food than your deficit. A little bit more, not extremely more, but a little bit more. So, what happens if we throw a log in the fire? Then that fire grows bigger, right? And some of my clients actually still lose weight when we put them in maintenance because they experience this effect where we put an extra log in the fire, they're eating at maintenance, they're getting maybe a couple hundred calories in the diet, and now they are energetic, they're moving more, they're cleaning the house, and they accidentally dip back into the deficit because they become so active. Okay. So then my clients will stay in the maintenance phase for a period of time. Everybody's different. Some clients will stay in maintenance for 2 weeks. It just depends on what your long-term goal is. Others may stay in maintenance 1 to 3 months. And then after the body is feeling safe, we had a break from that, then we will cycle again back to a deficit because your body is so smart and it likes to adjust. Okay, so weight loss should be done in phases. And that's what all the pros do. They'll do a maintenance phase, a muscle gain phase, and the maintenance and muscle gain, most athletes are in maintenance and muscle gain most of the time. Okay, because they understand the value of being able to put on muscle, because long term, the more muscle you have on your body, the faster metabolism, the more calories you can eat and tolerate, the more better you can perform in the gym, your sport, everyday life, right? And then let's say maybe an athlete is like, you know what, I want to lean down a little bit. I want to kind of peel off the top layer. Then they'll go to a deficit for a short amount of time. It could be 8 weeks, it could be 12 weeks. It depends on everyone's goal. But most people that you see in really great shape, they're only going into that deficit for a short amount of time, and they're doing it in cycles. They're satisfied with 5 pounds lost. Then they'll go back to maintenance or muscle gain and work hard. And then maybe in 3 to 6 months, they may like, all right, let's peel off another 5 pounds. And that is the way that you actually make it more sustainable, is when you take a look at your long-term goals but you've got to be consistent, right? And that's the hard part for most people in life, is like, if you had a guide, a coach that was with you there every step of the way, who does the thinking for you and says, all right, these are the signs, I think it's time to do this or it's time to do that. They guide you through maintenance, keep you accountable, so that maintenance is true maintenance and it's not a food gone wild for 2 weeks and you end up regaining weight that you didn't want to. So if you're interested in one-on-one coaching or someone to walk you through this process, but then also arm you with the tools so that you can do this on your own, you can keep the weight off, you don't need me for life, that you've gained the skills to keep going on your own. Drop a fire emoji in the comments and I'll send you more information about what it's like to work one-to-one with me. Otherwise, if you'd like to have a deeper dive with this, I would encourage you to drop #workshop. We're together. We'll walk through and help you figure out your macros for your goals. You can ask me anything. And I literally share with you the 2 biggest keys to success that my clients have in this free workshop. So drop #workshop if you're interested. All right. Thanks for sticking with me. If you watch to the end, please drop your questions below and I will respond to them. Until next time, sorry, my dog is bugging me and that's why I'm leaning away. This is Coach Rose rooting for you to say, go after more in 2024. See you guys later. Bye-bye.